The 2016 legislative session came to a fast and furious end this week as lawmakers tried to take action on several issues before the deadline approached on Wednesday. Among the issues passed included a bill that would allow for sale of full-strength beer, wine, and liquor in grocery stores over the next several years with various stipulations. However, Governor Hickenlooper's support of the bill is not guaranteed. Patty, even though we've seen the bill pass and there was a lot of celebration, at least at the Capitol, when it passed, between the confusion over it and the tepid response from the governor's office, it's still not a done deal. How do you react to the bill?
I'm guessing this bill will not be signed, and partly it's because the governor doesn't understand it. He said that in his briefing after the legislative session. He's not the only one who doesn't understand it. Dickie Lee Hollinghurst was saying the lobbyists were the ones who pushed it through. I talked to a lobbyist who doesn't understand it. No one understands it, and Lord knows I've paid attention to liquor and beer over the years, and I don't understand it. I know that it is way, way too complicated for what should be a fairly simple decision. Do Coloradans want full-strength beer in convenience stores or grocery stores? There are different variations on that. Do they want to have spirits there? Do they want to have wine there? And will it affect the craft beer industry? There are a lot of questions, and this just muddies the water more. Remember, we also have a petition drive that looks like it will get on the ballot in November if they want it to be on the ballot in November. So we've got to see if they want to go forward with their proposal.
David, just like Patty talked about, there's a potential ballot proposal, and that seemed to be the impetus behind this effort in trying to stem that so that that wouldn't make the ballot. Did this help that cause? Did it hurt that cause? Is the ballot the right way to go?
Well, the ballot at least is a better way to go than this process. Everything you need to know about the Colorado legislature is in my dad's book, Rules for State Legislators. And in one section, he explains that the last 5 days of the session are the most dangerous because that's when the normal rules are suspended. And so we see this year, as in previous years, lots of last-minute attempts to push through very complicated things in the last few days to avoid public scrutiny and avoid the debate. If this had been a bill that was properly introduced in January, then you would have had lots of time for committee hearings, and problems with the language could have been fixed if there's contradictions, or if even the liquor lobbyists can't understand what's in the bill, maybe it's actually incomprehensible, and going through the proper process would have perhaps produced a comprehensible bill which you could be for or against on the merits rather than not even understanding what's in it.
Eric, do you think the governor waits on further progress on the ballot issue to decide to veto, or does he simply go with what his instincts are on this particular bill regardless of the ballot issue?
Well, I think he waits a while. He has 30 days. The clock started when that bill hit his desk a day or two ago, so he has a while. I assume he'll do some outreach. He'll meet with interested parties. He'll do his due diligence. I'm going to take a little exception, Dominic, to the way you framed the question. In the first place, you used words like the fast and furious end of this legislative session. Maybe it was fast and furious in sort of a careless sense, but I would describe it as more slow and tedious in terms of the overall legislative session. In terms of this particular issue, the only reason it was considered in that final week, in my mind, is because of the looming threat of the ballot measure. If that ballot measure out there getting signatures as we speak was not there, I don't think this issue would have ever arisen in those closing days or closing hours. So the threat of a ballot measure had a major impact in just getting the legislature to deal with it. I have to surmise that there is polling out there that shows it might have a chance, or maybe more than a chance, or the opponents of the ballot measure wouldn't have been incentivized to come to the table and compromise. The whole thing does strike me as weird. As somebody postulated, I guess Patty, either you're in favor of this, as 90% of the other states do it, where you can walk into a liquor store and buy a bottle of wine with your steak or your salmon, a grocery store with your steak or your salmon or whatever you're having for dinner, or you're opposed to it. And the notion of a 20-year phase-in, which is what this is, strikes me as a very awkward way to split the baby.
Ramsey, you were there as it was all going down, whether it was fast and furious, slow and tedious, a little bit of both. What was your take?
This was definitely something where, every single legislator that came up to speak about this said the same thing. I hate this bill, but I will sign this bill. They were basically, this is sort of a last-ditch effort to sort of keep what the system is right now and slowly phase it in, and giving those liquor store owners, those small mom and pop stores, as Governor Hickenlooper likes to sort of talk about when he's talking about this bill, gives them a chance to either adjust to the new landscape of liquor sales in Colorado, or to get out of the game completely. But I really feel the only reason this made it through, besides from that pressure of this ballot initiative looming out there, is that Pat Stedman, senator from Denver, he just termed out now, was the one who took into this to charge of this issue, even though, as he said on the floor, I did not want this issue. This issue came to me. He is well liked on both sides of the aisle. He is the big negotiator when it comes to a lot of different issues, whether it be the budget or any other number of things. So I feel that he was able to bring that goodwill that he has to bear on this bill. But no one liked it. It was more of a, it's either this or we take our chances of ballot initiative. I don't think too many people wanted that in either the House or the Senate.